Behind me here is a home that I refuse to go to on my ghost walk.
The first time I went out there was on a ghost tour.
The Bryce home.
I could hardly hear a thing that the tour guide was talking about.
Why do I refuse to go here? It affects me badly.
I felt overwhelming nausea.
It makes me physically sick.
Finally left the property. I'm feeling relief.
Embarrassing.
I actually remember clutching Jay's arm and using him for assistance on my way off the property.
That's as far as I'll come.
The farther we got away from the property, I said, but I feel fine now, I feel fine. And that's when the tour guide said, we get that a lot.
You see this beautiful home.
Nausea, I can deal with it. I just gotta be better the next time I go to that location.
It was built on top of a lot.
Months later, I went back to the property.
That lot right there
I got this. I just gotta keep breathing. I'll be fine.
used to be
I still felt the nausea. I really focused on getting through it.
a graveyard
Leaving the property,
for convicts.
apparently something had left with me.
The nickname for this place? Gallows Hill.
You've been asking for a scary story? I'm gonna tell you one. But first... Hi, I'm Rebekah, and I work as a ghost tour guide in one of the most haunted cities in the southern United States, Wilmington, North Carolina. Follow along with me. I'm gonna show you some of the most haunting photos captured on my ghost tour, and then we're gonna go back to those locations during the day to see if we can figure out what went bump in the night. I'm Rebekah, the Ghost Guide. Before we get to the stories, I want to show you what I originally came out here to film about. The following is yet another photo from the Price home. Yes, that Price home, Gallows Hill. And you are welcome to disagree, but I think this is way too thick to be a lightning bug.
What is that?
This photo was taken 2 summers ago on Ghost Walk of Old Wilmington's ghost tour. When I shared it on TikTok a year ago, I got a lot of varied responses. Let's look into those. When I posted, I found this line to be the most peculiar aspect. It's been called a rod light anomaly, or a moving orb. However, as some were quick to also point out the more technical side of the photo, I wanted to look into that as well. I've spoken to a number of my photographer-savvy friends. Together, we've ruled out any kind of lens flare, as those are typically round, whereas this is a line. The person holding the phone kept it still, as we can still see from the lines on the bricks. I note that to rule out what we went over on my Carolina Apartments episode. The light source is either presenting itself or something catching the flash from the phone. The last potential explanation is likely the more accurate one. A slow shutter speed, aka how quickly the photo is taken, a flash from the camera phone, and a moth flying by. So, Silver Knight and Andicostahedron 7, you win. That said, here's an honorable mention to Margot Mallory, a ghost snake. However, on closer inspection, I was also drawn to what Claire Howell said, talking about a lady in the top right window, and a bright face in the bottom left of the bottom window. She wasn't the only person to see this. Brittany also saw a lady in the window right above an orb too. So I went back to TikTok to ask what was going on. What I didn't expect was for just how much people saw in this photo. Alright, TikTok, I'm gonna need your help on this one. Do not let me down. I need your thoughts on this photo. I originally posted a video about this last year on that little streak of light right there. Here's the deal. A lot of you said that this could be explained by a slow shutter speed and the flash of a camera. I agree with you, and I will be covering this on the next episode on YouTube on Thursday of Rebekah the Ghost Guide. Here's what I need your help on. I'm going to show you a close-up of the 2 windows behind me. I need you to tell me if you see anything. Please be as descriptive as you possibly can. I am counting on you. This is the top right window. And this is the bottom right window. I love you all. You have not let me down in the past. Don't let me down now. What do you see? And wow, did I get a lot of responses. We see a blue figure, a woman in the top right window, a face in the lower window, a face with poofy hair in the right window, a woman, a child, bottom window, a child again, a face, once again in the top right window, a dress, a face, a child's face, very misty, peeking through a window, faces in both. I got that email, that was great. 2 small doll-like faces, more faces. Many people saw these faces. A kid and a newsboy. Lots of people saw a woman. I got more emails, excellent. 2 faces, someone curled up, crying. All kinds of answers. And that made me think it is time to really revisit this photo and give it all of the attention that it deserves. So here's the photo in full. Here's the lower right window and the upper right window, as these 2 windows seem to be the windows in question. Let's look at the right window. And once again, I've tried to piece together the best idea of what I can of what people have given me. So we have this mistiness right here. And here it is again, perhaps moving up, moving forward. People said they saw a face, perhaps a woman's body. Could that be it? Now let's move down to the lower window. Here, I saw, I think, exactly what people are talking about. A small face in the lower left-hand corner of the window. And then we have this distortion up top near the framing. Perhaps a face inside, maybe even an orb with a face inside. You tell me. But now, it is time to revisit the Price home. The historic Price home built by Dr. Price in 1860 is still standing to this day. It is now owned by an architectural firm, but for the longest time, it was within the Price family. This is the same side of the building that this picture was taken. You'll see a few things have changed. For one, we're missing a shutter on one side. I'm not sure what's up with that. But let's look back down at the windows in question. First of all, the lower left window, where we thought we saw a face. But you'll see in the daytime, not a face. That is a security sticker. And then, up where there might have been an orb or even another face, you will see it is a distortion in the glass itself. Not paranormal. Let's look up at the upper right-hand window, the one where we saw maybe this misty purplish smoke, or perhaps a woman's face. And that's hard to tell, because they had their blinds drawn. Another mystery for sure. Perhaps one we will find out later, but for now, it is a mystery. And now, here's my story of why I no longer step foot on that property. When I was hired to be a ghost tour guide, I went back to the property. I got this, I just gotta keep breathing. I know it's not gonna be on my initial route, I'll be fine. Leaving the property, apparently something had left with me. Got back downtown, did what I needed to do for training purposes, and then I started to make my way back uptown where I used to live about 9 blocks away at that time. I noticed on the way up that I was receiving a lot of extra attention from catcallers. To this day, I have never had that many people call out to me, and I've worn the same thing, I've been out at the same time, it wasn't even that dark, nothing like that. Things were not adding up, and I wonder if they could have potentially been manipulated by something else. Spirits can be manipulated by other spirits. Say someone is already being manipulated by something that leads them to homelessness, for example. Not saying every homeless person has something, but say that they are being manipulated by something. And then there's something following behind me, and that thing calls out to the thing that's on them and says, "Hey," and then that thing says, "Hey," and then the person says, "Hey girl." Not saying every situation is like this, but it was very strange that night, call. I start making my way uptown, and I'm feeling a lot more relief because I'm thinking, well, all those guys are behind me, I've just got to get up to the house. I start hearing the same whistles, but there's like a wispiness about them. I'm hearing the whistles and I'm looking around and I'm trying to see where they come from, and I don't see anybody out. I make my way up and I start to hear footsteps behind me. Not fast at first, just slow, heavy footsteps behind me. I start looking around because I feel like I'm in a situation that is dangerous. and I start looking around for people on their porches. I start looking around for anything to give me a feeling of not being alone. But I don't see anyone out there. Now, I've lived in a lot of different places, and I've lived in some places that are not too pretty. This is not my first time being followed home, being catcalled, any of this. As I'm hearing these footsteps getting closer and closer behind me, I take my keys out and I put them between my fists. A person should be able to see that. I'm walking forward and I start hearing the footsteps, and this time they're picking up speed, and I take the keys and I immediately turn around to strike. I don't see anyone there, but I feel something move past me on my right side. And that's where, just behind me in my ear, I hear, and that's when I knew for sure that I was very much dealing with a ghost. So I called up Jay. I was about a block away at the time, and I said, Jay, I'm not bringing this home with me. I need you to meet me out on the street. Bring some stuff to cleanse my exterior. Fortunately, he came out, we met on the street, and he saged me down. And I just started to push that energy away. However, while it was no longer immediately behind me anymore, as I went back to the house, I felt it kind of trailing behind. And for roughly 3 days, every time I looked out the window, every time I walked out the door, I felt it staring at me. And honestly, I'm gonna say I felt him staring at me from roughly the middle of the street. Every time that I saw him, he got a little bit farther away, until finally he left. I will not go on that property again. Granted, since then, I've started to take far more protective measures. I was not nearly as in tune or protecting myself. My gut says I got no business on that land. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not going to be putting that to chance. I've already done that. I'm not going to be doing it again. Violent things happen out there, especially to women. And I tell people that on the tour. I'll go up to the spot. I've finally gotten to the place where I will tell the stories in front of the home. But I will tell people to be careful. It's not a place to put to fate. And remember, for anybody who feels called to go out there, you're not just affecting yourself, you're affecting your friends, your family, and your home place. Do not tempt fate. So who are these spirits looking out from these windows? Take your pick. Who or what haunts the Price House location? We will be finding that out more and more as time moves forward. But until then, I'm Rebekah the Ghost Guide. Thanks for watching. Hey everybody, thank you so much again for watching as always. And remember, we've got a Patreon out. It's super exciting. Be sure to check it out in the link below. Tell us what you like, tell us what you want more of. And by the way, those protective measures that I was talking about throughout the video, some of them you can actually purchase for yourself. And they're sold by Old Southern Conjure, otherwise known as Jay. And we've got some discount codes on our Patreon for Old Southern Conjure. Be sure to check it out. I've got more episodes coming out every week, Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've got travel episodes from Austin, Texas, New York City, and most recently, Edenton, North Carolina. Who would have thought? And remember, if you want to be ahead of the game, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook. We'd love to hear your thoughts, and we'd love to include you in on the next episode. Until then, thank you so much for supporting us. Can't wait to see you soon.